A man spent 5 years building a friendship. 5 years of trust. 5 years of loyalty. 5 years of believing he had someone who would always have his back. Then one day, he discovered the truth. The person he trusted most had betrayed him. Not accidentally, not by misunderstanding, but deliberately. The betrayal hit harder than any physical wound ever could. For weeks he couldn't sleep. He replayed every conversation, every memory, every warning sign he ignored. And the more he thought about it, the more one thought consumed him. I want them to feel what they made me feel. Not forgiveness, not healing, not peace, revenge. Months later an opportunity appeared. The perfect chance. A chance to humiliate the person who had hurt him. A chance to destroy their reputation. A chance to make them suffer. And when he finally did it, something happened. For a moment, it felt incredible. The anger disappeared. The pain faded. A rush of satisfaction flooded through him. He smiled for the first time in months. But then, the feeling started fading. Hours later, days later, weeks later, the betrayal was still there. The wound was still there. And the emptiness returned. Because revenge had given him something he desperately wanted, but not what he truly needed. And that reveals one of the darkest truths about human psychology. Why revenge feels so good. Most people think revenge is about cruelty. But psychologically, revenge is about control. When someone hurts you, your brain experiences something painful. A loss of power, a loss of fairness, a loss of dignity. You feel helpless, and the human mind hates helplessness more than pain itself. Because pain can be endured, helplessness makes us feel trapped. So the brain starts searching for a way to restore balance. And revenge offers exactly that. At least on the surface, it creates the illusion that justice has been restored, that the scales are finally even, that power has returned. The ancient survival mechanism. Thousands of years ago, revenge served a purpose. In small tribes, allowing harm to go unanswered could make you a target. If people believed they could hurt you without consequences, they would do it again. So the brain evolved a powerful emotional response. A desire to retaliate. A desire to send a message. A desire to make sure the pain wasn't repeated. That instinct still exists inside us today. Even though the modern world has changed, your brain still reacts as if every betrayal is a threat to survival. And that's why revenge can feel so intensely satisfying. The reward system of revenge. Here's where it gets darker. Brain scans have shown that thoughts of revenge activate reward-related areas of the brain. The same systems involved in pleasure and anticipation. When you imagine getting even, your brain rewards the fantasy. Not because revenge is morally right, but because your brain believes you're reclaiming power. For a brief moment, revenge feels like victory, like justice, like freedom. But that feeling comes with a hidden cost. Revenge doesn't remove the original wound. This is the part nobody talks about. Revenge attacks the person who hurt you, but it doesn't heal the part of you that was hurt. The betrayal remains. The humiliation remains. The disappointment remains. Because revenge changes the external situation, not the internal damage. Many people spend years chasing revenge, only to discover that the pain survived the victory. The obsession trap. The darker side of revenge is that it creates attachment. The more you focus on getting even, the more connected you remain to the person who hurt you. Think about it. Every plan, every fantasy, every angry thought keeps them alive in your mind. They continue controlling your emotions long after the event is over. And without realizing it, the desire for revenge can become another form of imprisonment. Why watching someone fail feels satisfying. Have you ever noticed how satisfying it feels when someone who wronged you faces consequences? That's because the brain craves fairness. Psychologists call this the justice motive. Humans are deeply uncomfortable with imbalance. When bad people succeed, it feels wrong. When harmful actions go unpunished, it feels wrong. So when life eventually catches up to someone who hurt us, our brains experience relief. Not because we enjoy suffering, but because order appears restored. At least temporarily. The difference between justice and revenge. Most people confuse the two, but they're not the same thing. Justice seeks balance. Revenge seeks emotional satisfaction. Justice says, what is fair? Revenge says, I want them to hurt. And that's a dangerous difference, because revenge often demands more than fairness. It demands emotional repayment. Pain for pain. Humiliation for humiliation. And that cycle can continue forever. The real reason revenge is addictive. The truth is, Revenge gives people something emotionally intoxicating. A sense of purpose. When you're hurt, revenge creates a mission, a target, a direction. Instead of focusing on healing, you focus on retaliation. Instead of rebuilding yourself, you focus on destroying someone else. And for a while, that feels easier. Because growth is hard, healing is painful, revenge feels simple. The darkest truth. The darkest truth about revenge is this. Sometimes people don't want justice. They want validation. They want proof that their suffering mattered. Proof that the other person understands the damage they caused. Proof that the universe noticed the pain. And revenge seems like the fastest path to that validation. But often, it never arrives, because no amount of revenge can rewrite the past. No amount of revenge can erase betrayal. No amount of revenge can return the person you were before the wound. Revenge feels good because it promises power. It promises balance. It promises relief. And for a brief moment, it delivers all three, but only temporarily. Because the real battle was never against the person who hurt you. The real battle is against the wound they left behind. And that's why some people spend years chasing revenge, while others spend those years rebuilding themselves. One path keeps the pain alive, the other slowly takes its power away. The question is, when you've been hurt, which path will you choose? The person who hurt you may deserve consequences, but don't let them deserve your future too. Because the moment your life becomes centered around revenge, they still own a part of you, and that's a victory they never earned.